Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on August 13, 2019. Just a quick disclaimer here, this is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. All right, as usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our economic calendar here. So for Monday, we didn't really have much important news here. So going on to Tuesday here, we'll start off by taking a look at our British pound here. So we do have average earnings index as well as the employment numbers coming out of the UK. So these numbers are very important, just like the non-farm payroll numbers are for the US. These numbers play a similar role for UK. If we see positive numbers come out, especially the average earnings index number here, we should see British pound go up. However, if we see negative numbers, we are likely to see British pound drop, because that would then make market participants think that Bank of England will have to act. So far, Bank of England has not really, they haven't cut rates, they haven't talked about cutting rates, and overall, the commentary out of Bank of England has been positive. Unlike other banks where Reserve Bank of Australia, New Zealand, the Fed, everybody is talking about cutting rates and making changes and easing monetary policy. Bank of England, on the other hand, has really held the monetary policy. They have increased the interest rates, but they haven't talked about cutting interest rates at this point. So negative data would push, or it would create market sentiment that would expect an interest rate cut from Bank of England or some form of monetary easing from Bank of England. And as a result, the currency, British pound here, will go down. So that's important number here. We do have a German ZU economic sentiment number. This one is also important, and we have seen these numbers move the market. So an important number to keep in mind here. In the New York session here, we do have the monthly inflation numbers, the CPI numbers coming out. Again, a very important number that the central banks keep in mind. So if we get a lower number than expected here, again, it pushes up the expectations that the Fed is likely to cut rates in September. So as a result, a lower CPI number will actually push the US dollar lower and likely push the equity markets up. And then in the evening, in the Asian session here, we see consumer sentiment number as well as the wage price index number here. So this wage price index number is similar to average earnings index number. It's an important number to keep in mind. If we see a decrease in it, then we are likely to see Australian dollar drop. And we saw earlier today, we got comments out of the Reserve Bank of Australia saying that they are looking at different options for easing monetary policy. They are open to cutting rates even lower. They have cut rates quite a bit recently, and they are even considering going negative in their interest rates. So overall, Reserve Bank of Australia is looking quite dovish here. As a result of that, we have seen Australian dollar drop today. So if we see negative numbers or lower than expected numbers coming out of Australia, we are likely to see a fall in Australian dollar, because again, everybody will be looking for RBA to take some action. And then of course we have Chinese data here. Chinese data tends to have an impact on Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar. So any drop in numbers there will have that impact on Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar. All right, so let's go on to the charts now. All right, so we'll start off by taking a look at our euro dollar here. So euro dollar has really been trading in this range at this point. It hasn't really gotten out of this range. We did see a drop, but it came into this resistance level, which is turning into support here, and we saw the price push up. At this point, this type of a pattern that we see here, this is neutral right now. We have pins on both sides, and we have small candle body here. Overall, there is bullishness in this candle. So bias is neutral, but because there is bullishness here, I would expect the price to go back up. So I would look for price to go into 1.1250. If it stays below that, then we could see the price come down further here, back into test the low. However, the thing to note here is price has been trading in this range for quite some time. So we have to see where the price breaks, and that's the next level we'll be looking for the trend to go to. So if the price breaks through the high, then we're looking for price to go higher here. And we could see price go into these levels, these higher levels. So that's what we'll have to watch if price goes to test the high. On the other hand, if price goes to test the low here, then we're looking for price to break down through these lows to the support levels to see if it will come down lower. At this point, this is neutral. Price has been going sideways here, but because it's not breaking down, that shows that this may go higher. So overall, this is neutral, but I would look for price to go test the high. And if it gets through that level, I would look for price to continue higher here. So for now, bias is neutral until such time that the price gets out of this range. Pound dollar here, this was interesting. We saw price drop initially, but then it moved back up. However, as we can see, price is holding below this support resistance level. All this support here is now acting as resistance. So the candle that we have today is also a neutral candle. Again, we have pins on both sides and small candle body. At this point, I will look for price to retest that level here at 1.2100. If it holds below, then I'm looking for price to drop further here and go into 1.1980 level. However, if it gets through the level here, we could see price go higher into 1.2240. So we need to be careful with this one. So overall here, bias is neutral for pound dollar. Aussie dollar here, this one has actually dropped today. So we heard from Reserve Bank of Reserve Bank of Australia. And like I mentioned earlier, they have talked about exploring different monetary policy options. So anytime there is an easing of monetary policy, that is negative for the currency. So when a central bank starts talking about cutting the interest rates and even going negative with the interest rate, that is negative for the currency, it's dovish for the currency, and we usually see the currency drop. And this is the case with Australian dollar here. So we have seen Australian dollar drop, and hence we have had this nice bearish candle close here. So we see that price is holding below this previous support resistance level. Right now, it's into the bottom of this support resistance level here, bottom of this range that it's been trading in for the past week here. So bias here is bearish based on the daily candle close, as well as the commentary out of Reserve Bank of Australia. So bias is bearish. Next target here is 0.6680. So bias is bearish for Aussie dollar. New Zealand dollar here, this one has also dropped. We see that price has been holding below the support resistance level. Price went into this support resistance level. We had a bearish pin bar, and then we have seen a drop with this one as well. So at this point, bias is bearish. I will look for price to go lower into 0.6380. But of course, we do need to see a drop through the support level here for it to continue lower. But bias is bearish. Next target is 0.6380 for New Zealand dollar. Dollar CAD here, this one has been bullish. We have seen price go up. It's holding above this level that we have been watching of 1.3180. So today we have a bullish candle close. So I will look for price to go higher here And in this case, our bias is bullish. The first target that I would look for would be 1.3270 level here. If the price goes through this level, we could see it continue further. Otherwise, it could just drop from here. But for now, bias is bullish and target is 1.3270. Gold has been going up here. It's been trading in this higher range. So we had this move up, price traded sideways, and now it's going higher. So overall, bias is bullish because it's holding above this previous support resistance level, but it's going sideways for now. So I'll say bullish bias, first target would be 17.22. If it stays below that level, then I'm looking for price to come back into this range. However, if it goes through it, next target is 17.36, and then we can see it go higher. Sorry, this was not gold, this was silver. So bias is bullish for silver here. Gold here, gold has also been bullish. So we see that price is holding above here, same thing here. It's holding above previous support resistance level here. It's been going sideways here. So today's candle close is bullish. So I've looked for price to go higher. Next target would be 1540. Now, if it doesn't break today's high, though, it can come back into this range here, and we could see it go sideways like this. So for now, bias is bullish, and 1540 is the next target. Oil here. Oil is looking bullish here. We have a nice bullish candle close, but notice that we are into resistance here, the support turning into resistance. So bias is bullish. However, keep in mind, if it doesn't break the high, it can just turn lower here. So that would be something we need to be cautious about. But other than that, as long as it holds above, we're looking for price to go higher. And if it breaks through this, we could see it go all the way into this level here. But for now, very, very important. We're holding below 55. As long as it stays below 55, it could drop. So we need to be careful. Copper here. Copper is bearish here. We see that price is holding below this support resistance level here. So today we have a bearish candle close. I will look for price to come back down, back into this 2.49 level here. So bias is bearish for copper. Bitcoin here, Bitcoin is looking neutral overall, bearish here. But today's candle close is neutral. We saw this drop here. Now, price has been going sideways here. Not really doing a whole lot, just neutral sideways here. So today's candle close is neutral. Price opened and closed at exactly the same point, and we have pins on both sides. So this is a neutral candle here. So what I would look for is how price reacts at the low of today. So 11,150. If price holds above, then we could see it go higher and towards 12,200. Now, should it break through, then we're looking for 10,800 level here and potentially lower. So candle closed for today is neutral, but that's our Mondays. Mondays tend to be slow days here, especially in the summer with not a whole lot of activity in the markets. Mondays can be super slow. So we'll have to see how price reacts at our support level of 11,150. If it holds above, then I'm looking for price to go higher. Otherwise, we're looking for a drop. So bias is neutral here for Bitcoin. S&P 500, we saw a drop today. Now we are into that important support resistance level at 2870. So this is an important level. So bias is bearish here. And I would look for a potential pullback into 2,900. Now, if price goes into 2,900, then holds below, then I will look for price to come down into 2820 level and potentially into 2780. However, if price holds above this 2880 level, then it could go higher. But just based on today's candle close, I will look for price to drop, pull back into 2,900, and then looking for a further move lower into 2820, and then a 2780 here for S&P 500. NASDAQ here, same thing, price is held below this support resistance of 7720. So I will look for price to drop further into 7380 here. So bearish bias for NASDAQ. DAX here, this one has also dropped. It's still trading kind of sideways here, but bias is bearish. And if it breaks through the support, only if it breaks through the support here, because it's still holding on to it. So if it breaks below this support at 11,500, then we're looking at 11,200 here. So bearish bias for DAX here. And then we have Footsie. Footsie is looking weak as well. We have seen a bearish engulfing candle close here. So bias is bearish and looking for price to drop. Next target would be 7130 here. So bearish bias for Footsie. Last but not least here, we have Nikkei. Nikkei is looking weak as well, but it is into support. So as we notice here, price came into support and then pushed back higher. So we have to be careful. This is the fourth time price is testing this level here. And if it doesn't break below 20,300, it could go back higher. But if it breaks through this level here, then I'm looking for price to drop further. First target was 19,800, then 19,250. So overall, bias is bearish. So that's all for today. Have a wonderful trading day tomorrow, and I'll see you again tomorrow night. Bye for now.